probably hasn't been updated. I imagine the statute's probably the same as it was.
That could be what she's pulling from,
Yeah.
that I don't know, but I will ask her.
Okay, any further discussion? Now I'll take a vote. Kathy Burke.
Yes.
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes. Motion carries.
That, Steve, would you like to talk to the holidays?
Yes.
Okay,
I would like to see the way we pay or compensate the holiday pay for the police department. Currently, the town has, and we follow the town side for their policy. There's 13 paid holidays now. It's reflective of kind of a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday schedule, because if there's a holiday that falls on a Saturday or Sunday, it's observed by the town on like a Friday or a Monday, whatever, during the work week. We do shift work. We have 3-hour shift, 8-hour shift, 24 hours a day. The way they compensate it now is if an officer works a holiday, they get paid normal pay for that day, plus they get comp time at time and a half. So 12 hours of comp time in addition to the regular pay.
and just to reference, each of you have a sheet like this that has all those details on it.
Yeah.
And
Of what is current and what is proposed.
I kind of talked about it in the email I sent a couple days ago too, so hopefully I explained this right. What I'd like to see, it's really killing our schedule. Number one, we have a 40-hour cap on the comp time that we can carry on the books. So what happens when all these holidays hit, they most of the time get paid out. Because what happens after the 40 hours, you get paid out of the overtime rate. The other thing is doing is, it's killing our schedule as far as, they're getting the comp time, and it's quite a bit. If you think about 13 holidays at 8 hours a day, that's quite a bit, and then take it by how many officers we have. We only have 2 people on our staff, myself and Ashley, that don't get compensated that way because we're not under that pay, whatever,
Yeah.
but. So what I am proposing, and I had this at Goshen, I know other departments do it this way, just pay out the holidays, a one-time deal, and instead of like pay them, like, I think I sent that sheet to you, but, so 13 paid holidays, just pay each officer the holiday paycheck in 1st of December, instead of paying it out in comp time and then figuring out who's at 40 or whatever. That way we can budget for it. We know what the cost is gonna be at the end of the year. We're not getting the comp time that's gonna take people away from the schedule. The other thing it does too, in the past, they've actually short scheduled us because of, like, if we had, say, 3 guys working that day, they're saying, well, one guy take holiday, so they don't get the time and a half comp time. So we're losing an officer on the shift there just because they don't want to pay the extra benefit. So I think it would help us with the schedule. It would help us with budgeting. I think I costed it out, next year, under next year's salary ordinance.
Was it 36?
Yeah, 36,000, I think would be the cost, and we're nearly paying that now in overtime, or in the comp time once it's converted. So it's just be a lot easier for us all the way around.
So that would be 11 officers that would be paid 8 hours for 13 holidays, right?
Well, actually, no, because I would not be,
Oh, that's right. It would just be
then Ashley would not be either.
10. Okay, so you have 10 officers at 8 hours for a holiday pay, 80 hours times 13 holidays, 1,040 hours. And then hourly rate would be based
Yeah,
on,
and I broke that down in that sheet I sent attached to the email.
okay,
Mhm.
Each officer, what the new rate was, so
Okay.
it's just something to consider. It really would help us out. in the
Yeah.
long run.
because that comp time's always, I don't know that I've ever agreed with that. It's difficult to manage.
Well,
Well,
as far as accounting goes too, it's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean,
the other thing we've been doing to the guys that are not working, and we're following a procedure and not necessarily the town's policy. The guys that aren't working the holiday, they're getting comped 8 hours if they don't work it. And that's not in our policy. And I talked to Jill and she said, well, that's the way we've done it. So, so there's actually more,
So if you've got 3 guys that work, you have 7 that get 8 hours for
Yeah.
not working.
so I think in lieu of just simplicity and
Yeah.
us managing our
Yeah.
schedule, it would work out very well for us.
Yeah, and then comp time really comes down to just what you work over your 8-hour shift.
And then the other thing, in addition to this, with comp time, before, you could carry up to 40 hours, and then after 40 hours, we would just pay it out once they get above that.
Yeah.
Well, Jill said that wouldn't have to follow the policy where the guys can come to us at any time and say, I have 40 hours, I want paid for that 20. We weren't doing that before, and Jill said this is a new policy or a new way they're doing it, so. You know, we could be paying throughout the year, the guys could zero it out, they want any time, so it's difficult to budget that too.
oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hitting overtime budget pretty hard.
Okay,
So Kathy, from New Focus did make a note that she would prefer the holiday be paid straight time. And when they actually work that day, that'd be the time and a half,
And then
instead
we
of
just-
paying out the holiday at time and a half.
Cause they're taking away any of the like they're getting time and a half comp time now, and then they're getting them paid out at time and a half. If they're above 40, so if we're going back to straight time, they're losing part of that benefit for the holiday. So I would ask that it stay at time and a half. It just be paid at time and a half for the hours that is.
for those full 1,000 hours.
Yes. They're already being compensated now with comp time at time and a half. And then it's converted over eventually after the 40. So if you go down the straight time, they're actually losing some of that benefit. I don't want it to go backwards.
How would they, I'm not following.
So then,
If they're getting,
officers that don't work would get paid straight time.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, there's an additional cost, a small cost, I don't, I think it's from what we're paying out now, that doesn't include the guys that come and want to zero out or reduce their comp time below 40, but I think this would be an additional cost, this rough estimate of about $6,000.
So basically you would pull out all the holiday days and nobody would be paid on that actual day.
Right, it's just like a regular day, it's not a holiday.
So let's say, New Year's Day falls on a Monday. And you have 3 officers that work Monday.
Mhm.
New Year's Day. They would get their regular pay and then they would also get the holiday pay? Or they were
Now, or are you talking about what I'm proposing?
proposing,
It'd just be a regular work day. If they're scheduled that day, they get paid regular pay that day. We kind of take the holiday out. The only time the holiday comes in is we're just paying a one-time check for all the holidays.
at the end of the year.
At the end of, at the first pay, Jill suggested the first pay period in December.
okay, so then. The officers at work would get paid their regular shift for the holiday, if they worked New Year's Day. And the ones that didn't work, they wouldn't get paid, but then at the end of the year, everybody gets the holiday pay.
Yes.
So in essence, the officers that work on a holiday get paid double time.
They're getting holiday plus
They're getting-
8 hours.
They're getting their holiday pay at the end of the year, plus they're getting paid for the day they actually work.
Right.
So it would be not time and a half, but double
Double
time. Is it? Am I making sense there or
You're
not?
still being paid. Speak on yourself.
No, go ahead. Dave.
When you work on the holiday, you're getting your 8 hours, right now, you get 8 hours regular pay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
plus you get
Time and a half.
time and a half.
So you're at you're at 2.5 times.
2.5 times, okay,
Because your comp time's screwed at time and a half, so you're getting the 12 that you're paying out,
okay,
plus you're paying your 8 hour regular, so you're paying for, if I work one holiday, my regular 8 plus my 12 hour, you're basically paying for 20 hours to work on a holiday.
Mhm.
okay. And then, so that's if you work the holiday.
If I work a holiday.
If Kyle doesn't work the holiday,
If
he
doesn't-
he gets paid the time and a half for 8 hours.
No.
No, he just gets
No.
flat 8 hours, that's it.
But I thought
Just
the
holiday
county
pay.
was supposed to be getting that, the town has been doing that.
Because
Okay.
they considered holidays a benefit, so
So-
they're gonna pay them.
So then, Steve, you're asking that the holiday pay be paid at time and a half.
Just flat for everybody for the 13 holidays at 8 hours.
Okay,
Kind of like if they don't take vacation all year long, they get it in a lump sum at the end of the year.
yeah,
Similar, I guess.
okay,
And there's, certain amount of rollover, but
And if people want, it actually helps us manage the other vacation and personal time we have, because if somebody wants the holiday off, I use Detective Russo as an example. Right now, he gets Christmas and Christmas Eve off. If we were doing it this way and he wanted to take those off, he would still get that check at the end of the year, but those days off, he would have to use vacation, personal or comp time. So it helps alleviate those and bring those down.
okay,
it makes sense.
okay. Anybody thoughts on it?
It makes sense now. Yeah, we get.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm a little curious of when you said if they work 8 hours on a holiday, they're actually gonna get 2.5 hours pay. They're 8 hours plus time and a half.
The way they currently, yes, they get their
8 hours regular
8
pay.
hours regular pay, just like a regular.
Plus
pay.
it's 12 hours, which is basically.
They get
it-
12
it- 12
hours.
So if you add two numbers together.
It's 2.5 times. Yeah,
so.
That's how it's written that.
Yeah,
uh,
it's written
per
weird.
day or overtime rate.
Oh, I see, at your overtime rate,
So
okay.
yeah, you get 8 hours of comp time for working all day, but it's
Yeah.
accrued at 10, so then you get 4 hours.
Okay,
base pay.
okay,
And you can see like if you see the overtime budget, what we're paying out, like you can tell when the holidays are hitting, it always just nails us.
Thanksgiving, Christmas and New Year, because we have multiple guys that work all 6 of those holidays, so 6 times 12. That's a lot of hours going into
Yeah.
comp time that they're getting paid for.
Yeah.
I know myself, I think I work every holiday. So,
okay.
okay, get it now.
Anybody opposed to it, or? And I like the idea of simplicity because I've always struggled with comp time. It's difficult to manage.
Yeah.
We just have so many holidays.
Yeah.
Combine that, I mean, it is a scheduling nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
Say we have too many holidays.
Yes, federal holidays are out of hand.
And just I want to point out, the police side did not propose the holiday. We'll take them, they're gonna give it to us.
Yeah, 13 is a lot,
It is.
even for private sector.
My new job, I just got it.
It's huge for the holidays.
Now, this would be included into the salary ordinance, correct? Was contemplated.
Correct.
But probably, I mean, to the extent the council wants to move forward with it, we certainly want to make sure that the language, we can take a look at, at what the HR folks have put together. But the important thing, I mean, both for the officers and for the town, since there's some comp time considerations and there's straight time and everything else, you get into these FLSA considerations. The town needs to make sure that its bases are covered. And that while I think it seems to make sense to provide compensation for holiday pay this way, the FLSA committees are tricky on how comp time is calculated and, even shorting somebody an hour, the law doesn't allow you to do that. And so, the value for an hour worked. So I think we want to make sure that we take a look at that language and very deliberate, to ensure that that the employees are protected, the town's protected.
The language has not been included in that salary ordinance that we're about to. do
The
next
language
year.
was given,
Okay, so we can approve the salary ordinance coming up here for next year and then amend it in January to include the new language. Is that the process?
or council can approve that with legal counsel's approval, we can include it in the 2025 handbook. Or if that's not enough time, Alex, for you to review, yes, we can do an amendment in January.
Yeah, when you say time to review, you mean like before the 2025 ordinance is brought up in a minute, or?
Well, yes.
Go for it.
Where you been
No.
all this time anyway?
No, before 2025.
Yeah, I think, I don't think it's a heavy lift. I think the language is probably right there. If anything, to make sure everyone's on the same page as far as how that's gonna be spelled out, not only in the ordinance, but then in the handbook as well, I think is, it just makes the most sense.
And if not, if you come into a hiccup, we could still share the 25 handbook with the employees come January 1st and still do an amendment as needed.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure we get the
Yeah,
handbook out to
yeah.
everybody at the first of the year.
I guess my preference would be because we don't have it defined yet,
Mhm.
because we want to put Steve's language in there.
I wanna know how many.
To clarify the time and a half, get rid of the comp time. I think my preference would be let's approve the salary ordinance for 2025. And then amend the handbook accordingly, and then amend the salary ordinance to
Okay.
match.
I wanna know what holidays are 13 holidays, because I can
Um,
do 8.
You have those in front of you, my dear.
Where?
See that colored calendar?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Oh,
then,
you're
So
kidding.
first question is whether or not you will adopt the 2025 handbook that Jill shared with you in her email along with,
yeah,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
is that,
That's what the changes with ghost employment.
okay, we already approved that.
You approved the ghost employment and the handbook that she sent out as is, so that's without any of this discussion included.
Yeah,
So that
So-
would be an adoption of the shared 2025 handbook. Plus
So
the
you-
ghost
so you need a
employment.
motion for that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or we can talk
Wow.
about the vacation and stuff, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so is
So-
there,
That being said,
okay,
thanks, Steve. There's more to this page that I shared with you, which is also language. So vacation, some of the language listed there in the table at the bottom of that memo states that on January 1st, after an employee's first anniversary, then they will get their 40 hours of vacation time. Well, if you
Okay.
start in February and have to wait a whole year, we want to change the language to on January 1st following the employee's date of hire. So they're not necessarily waiting a year and a half or 2 years to get their 40 hours of vacation time.
Gosh, I thought we
Can I
amended.
throw something out?
Absolutely.
I don't like using the calendar year for the anniversary. I would like to see using your anniversary date of hire to calculate your vacation, because what's happening now.
Steve, you're killing us.
Well, I'm just logistically, I don't know, it's very awkward how they do it.
It is, but if you have 5 employees, that works well and good. But when you have as many employees as we do to do the anniversary dates,
Well, here's the problem.
we can make
changed
it
that
work whatever
years ago.
council decides.
Well, I'll
It
tell you
used to
how
be
it-
that.
Sorry.
I
I'll
think
tell you how it affects us. If you're going off of January and what you just started to say, if somebody gets hired January 2nd per the town manual, they're gonna end up basically going almost 2 years, 4 years before they get their 40 hours.
No,
Other
No,
than
no.
they get
not if,
8 hours every 2 months.
not if we change that wording though, Steve.
Okay, with the biggest thing that hurts us, if we do the calendar year instead of the anniversary, like this year, a lot of guys are carrying their vacation, so November, December, our schedule is tight because guys are trying to get their vacation in. Because per policy is they have to get them done by the end of the year or they lose them. If you go by their anniversary date higher, then they're staggered because not everybody's hired on January 1st, so it actually helps scheduling or our schedule so that we're kind of throughout the year. I know on your end, it's probably harder to track, but, we're not the first ones to come up with this system. I think most people use the anniversary date, not the calendar year.
This was discussed, oh gosh, 7, 8 years ago, when we changed it to the calendar year.
Yeah.
So that they got so much vacation for so many months of the year that they're in. And then, January 1st starts a whole year. But they still got vacation, like if they started in July, they would still get,
Be prorated.
it would be prorated per the number of months they worked in that year. They got that vacation.
With a cap of 40, so like you said, if somebody gets hired, then unless something has changed that I'm not aware of, or at least I didn't follow very well. Like if you get hired January 2nd, per the policy, you go January 2nd to the 1 year anniversary of that, but you still have to get another full year before you get your 40 hours.
Not with
No.
this wording change, so it would be, the way you're thinking is the old version, so to speak.
What we-
So then, yeah, what we've been doing, and the new version would be as of January 1st, no matter what your hire date was, then you get that 40 hours.
So Mr. Dibley that was hired last week will get his 40 hours vacation. See, I'm not necessarily on board with that either.
So we can table this portion
Okay.
and talk more about it.
See, I thought it wasn't just a flat 40 hours. I thought it was per the number of months in the previous year that they worked. For example, if they start, like I said, in July, then they get August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 months. Starting January 1st, and then it goes to the full year vacation.
So Steve, you'd be opposed to Dibley getting it because he hasn't worked a full year?
Yeah, he's on off probation or whatever.
Right.
He's worked 2 weeks and then gets his 40 hours.
No, he shouldn't.
Well-
According to the new
Yeah.
language, he would.
In 2025, you would.
Mhm.
Oh, that
In
doesn't. make
twenty
any
twenty-five, you get
sense.
his 40 hours,
Yeah,
which so just going through this myself. I just started January 9th or December 9th. Come January 1, I get 3 weeks vacation.
yeah.
I don't have to work a full year to earn that pay. That was part of an agreement. My, hire agreement, that I got 3 weeks.
Well, for me, I'd like to get it so it's a little more streamlined, so that's not gonna be a deal breaker. I mean, that's more of a benefit to him. I really don't like taking away benefits, but to the guy that got hired February 1st and had to wait, now, they're not changing the wording in there where for every 2 months working of 8 hours, and so
But-
that's gonna stay in place, so that, yeah.
Yeah,
guess
and
I
we
would
were,
think that.
I mean, this all came into play and we were just trying to get everything in alignment
Mhm.
to pass for tonight, so we can table it and we can talk more about it.
Yeah, the biggest thing I think with me is I'd like to do anniversary instead of calendar, but whatever the council
I have to go back
decides.
in my notes, and there was a specific reason
Yeah,
why
there was a
we
reason
changed
why.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
it says upon hire, transfer and eligible employment classification. So if you're on probation, would that help change it if you don't actually qualify until after you've left probation? And you're actually,
We don't actually have the wording in the probation. in,
Yeah.
no,
Salary ordinance or anything,
Do you have a specific SOP for that?
we don't.
Still working on,
Yeah,
okay.
Well, we have the old ones, then we've got the new ones, we've had 2 years, they haven't been issued, and we still need to go through those, because those weren't done, so I mean, we have policies, but I don't wanna change this for the old policy, then we're gonna change it here
Yeah.
in 2 months.
I really wanna look at.
I'd be more in favor of keeping it January 1 as opposed to the higher date. I get why you want it. I see both sides of it, Steve.
Oh, that's fine.
But I think
Good, 'cause I could prefer-
from an overall policy, I'd like to see it remain January 1, because I think it's easier to track that.
Yeah, and it's not automatically, like you said, if somebody's hired the 1st of December, that, 1st of January, they get a whole year's vacation. That's not, wasn't it? It was scheduled so that it's proactive. I mean, it's prorated, I'm sorry. Like they get 1 month of their full year's vacation. That's what, starting January 1. If they started in January, they'd get a full year of the previous year.
I don't think that's how we had it set up, Kath.
That's the way it was supposed to be set up when we.
Well, I don't know at what time, so why don't we just table that portion?
I'll have to
Okay.
look at it.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
We'll look more into that.
I remember doing it. Yeah.
So then what components of this change do we want to
I don't.
approve? What are you asking us to approve then?
You already proved part of it, right?
Well, the holiday time requires language. We're not doing anything with any of this tonight. I am sorry to say. So we will work with Steve and Alex and New Focus on languages, and we will bring some other options to you in January.
Okay,
Okay, so at this point, I would like to have you approve or adopt the 2025 handbook, adding the ghost employment information.
okay,
I'll make that motion. Approve the 2025 handbook, adding the ghost information.
okay. Motion by Kathy,
I'll second.
second by Greg, open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Kathy Burke,
Yes.
Greg Tulski.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes, motion carries.
Okay. Next is the adoption of the 2025 salary ordinance as it was presented December 5th for the first reading. So this is the adoption of salary ordinance number 12-19-2024-28.
Okay,
Didn't we just do that?
And this is on second reading.
no, we just did,
Oh, this is 28.
we did 28, we did 29, which was the change for
That was
I
adding
knew-
Officer Dibley.
Dibley. So is there a motion to approve salary ordinance, the 2025 salary ordinance number 12-19-2024-28?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Greg. I will second that. Open for discussion?
Just for clarity, is on second reading.
Yes, on second reading, yep.
You would have missed the first.
I was afraid we were gonna ask to suspend the rules and.
No, we did it
We did it official.
We did.
timely this time.
Yeah.
I'll explain off the record what my concern.
George kept us straight.
Okay, no further discussion, take a vote. Kathy Burke,
Yes.
Greg Tulsi,
Yes.
and Jeff Beach is yes, motion carries.
All right, the next portion of our program
Mm.
is resolution number 12-19-2024-13. This is a resolution for the council president to choose or appoint 3 members to the RDC and for the council members to appoint 2 members to the RDC. Once appointed, come January at the first RDC meeting, that's when titles will be assigned. Do you have anything to add to that?
Nope. That sounds good.
Okay, so. Is there a motion to adopt this,
Well, I need,
There's some fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Council President Jeff Beachy appoints
I appoint Greg Tulski, Kathy Burke, and Doug DeSmith.
and council members appoint
Jeff Beachy. You think so, Greg?
Yeah.
Think Jeff's gotta be on there.
Maybe.
Can we volunteer? Dean, is that okay?
Fine.
No,
Sure.
I think council members, not just me.
All right, so then I need a motion to approve resolution 2013 with the aforementioned appointees.
Make that motion.
Motion by Kathy,
I'll second.
second by Greg, open for discussion. For especially vote, Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes, motion carries.
it's amazing. Five people.
Just for the record, the 2025 budget was approved by the Department of Government Finances.
Yay. No big cuts, huh?
No,
We've had big cuts in the past. Oh, we've had 80,000, 90,000.
and last on my list is the annual certification of elected officers. And I'll need your help defining this, so to speak, for nepotism or
Oh,
anti-nepotism.
Sure, yeah. Against nepotism. Anti-nepotism.
Yes. So this is an annual policy that everyone signs, stating that they did not supervise anybody that is related to them this calendar year. How's that?
Don't do.
we're passing everything.
That is all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Did you want to approve?
Permission to pay bills through end of year, you've got it written down.
Yeah,
Oh, would the council please approve the clerk treasurer's office to pay any bills that are within my realm?
I make a
Prior
motion
to
that you
next-
pay any bills any within your realm through year end.
Thank you.
Second.
okay, motion by Kathy, second by Greg, open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Kathy
Yes.
Burke, Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
Jeff Beach is a yes, motion carries.
Now I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving along rapidly. Steve, what do you have for us tonight?
Real quick, the report, the monthly report, and we talked about a few purchase things that I sent out earlier. I'll find it, in this mess here. For November, we've investigated 50 cases. 8 of those cases were closed by immediate arrest. 1 was battery, 2 burglaries, 2 possession of methamphetamine, 3 frauds, 1 death investigation, 1 theft, 1 warrant arrest, 1 auto theft, 1 resisting arrest, and 6 possession of marijuana. As far as traffic enforcement, we investigated 12 vehicle crashes. 1 was an injury crash. We issued 60 traffic citations. 6 of those citations were driving while license suspended or never receiving a license. We issued 46 warning tickets. Calls for services were 509. The actual calls were 341. I did do some checking. Somebody had asked me about the difference there and what the calls for services would include every call, but every officer. So if we have 2 officers on the call, that would count under calls for services double on that. So our actual, like if somebody called 1 incident would be 340. So that's how that was broken down.
Okay.
We impounded 9 vehicles. We sold 12,426 miles. Our code enforcement. Page here, but, he did, 41 total violations, 1 animal, 14 parking, 1 noise, 5 nuisance, 17 signs, 2 trash on property, and 1 other. 5 of those were initiated by existing complaints, and 36 of those complaints were proactive initiated by an ordinance officer. So that's the monthly report. Getting into we're trying to, finish some purchases for this year, under this year's budget. Um, the one thing I think we talked this last meeting about the taser purchases. So we've got the invoice for those. We actually received what the total cost was for 8, new taser 7s and, the cartridges and training cartridges, everything we need to do that would be 23,520. I broke it down. We have $20,000 in the lit fund for police weapons, and then the other additional would come under the lit, one of the lit lines for training supplies, where there's enough money to cover the additional costs on that.
Okay.
Second larger item is, we're gonna need 3 additional in-car video camera systems for the new squad cars. They've changed the way they did that also now. We cannot purchase the system that we currently have, they're gone away with that. They're doing it now instead of where we're maintaining the files and storing the video files here. They're going to an iCloud storage, which Kathy likes, but then they charge a fee for that. So with the three systems with the unlimited storage, because we have to maintain these video files by statute for a certain length of time, depending on what kind of crime it is, whatever. So the unlimited storage would be most beneficial for us, that way they're dealing with it. So cost for those 3 new in-car camera systems with the storage is $33,690. Digital Ally, the supplier who we use now, they break it down into a 5-year cost, and I don't believe there's any interest or anything, but so first year is a little more expensive, it's $6,906, and the next 4 years for that purchase would be $6,696. So what we'd be pulling out of this year's budget would be the 6,906 for the 3 cameras.
So it's kind of like a work
But then,
lease purchase type
Yeah,
deal.
that is a purchase, not a lease, right?
correct.
And that purchase price includes the cloud storage?
Yes.
Okay,
The only thing we're gonna have, we already have the body cameras, and we have some extra body cameras. Their new system ideally would have the new body cameras, which is quite a substantial additional cost. So it's just all integrated. Our current cameras would integrate into the system. It worked like activation, whatever, but we end up having to download the camera or the body cameras like we do now. So just a little extra work for our guys, but for the cost, I think I'm okay with doing the way we're doing it now.
okay.
And then, lastly, well, there's just a couple other things, but what I had sent you, the radar units for in-car for the 3 new vehicles, cost us $6,390. We could take that out. There were some additional funds left in the CCD line for police vehicle. We had enough money left over in that line to, after purchasing the police vehicle, which we just picked up yesterday. Actually, so we could cover that, the 6,390 in that line. And, ammo purchase, we're trying to purchase ammo, for the end of the year, to supply for next year, it's in the budget for next year. We had a little, we worked with, Greg, with a new vendor. We're actually being able to purchase probably double the ammo that we were purchasing before for less price. Here, or this too, I can't remember I have it here, but, so we went to purchase the ammo. The only thing is, it's an online thing, and they require a credit card purchase, which usually it's not a big deal. The town currently does not have enough, it's $5,000 or something. The town does not have enough room on the credit card to do that. So we can't make that purchase, so I don't know, suggesting do we need to encumber those funds, or how does that
We
work?
might, we've talked about this, so we're in the process of increasing our line because we just have a small limit, because we don't use our credit card very often. So we're looking to increase that, but in the process, say that doesn't get increased by the end of the year, then Steve can go to the vendor, he can ask for an invoice or a PO. So as long as we have that stipulating what the requested purchase is, we can encumber those funds and pay it in January.
And the only thing I can get from them is basically a printout from like what we're ordering, it specifies how many, what the actual thing is, the total cost. Like basically a screenshot from your checkout card from online. I don't know if that's gonna be adequate or not,
I'll have to look at it, see.
I have a vendor locally too that would be on the practice ammo the same price as what that is.
okay.
So if you needed to break it up to meet the credit card demands, it'd be doable by the
We
end of
have,
the year.
yeah, we have plenty of money in that line for the 2024 budget.
But they won't take a check.
Yeah, they won't
They
take a
won't.
check, they won't do anything other than.
You can't get a prepaid credit card
Why would we?
for that amount?
Why would the town do that?
I don't know.
It's more money, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it needs to be done by the end of the year, if it's quicker, there is a local vendor that is running a sale right now, the same price that I showed you from that vendor, that we could do all the practice ammo from. And they actually have a military or a law enforcement discount on top of that.
Okay,
And maybe they'll take a check.
They will take a check.
There you go.
I talked to them last week.
okay, you have time tomorrow, to work with me on that.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna be going there tomorrow.
Okay.
So we might be able to,
I'm sorry, I took so much of everyone's time.
No, hey, don't apologize, I'm still here for it. Okay, so let's break this down.
So you're looking for approval to encumber all these funds.
But I talked to Mike a little bit about it, I'm not exactly sure how this works, I just want, I mean, obviously, they're a little bit bigger purchases, we've had some other smaller ones for doing equipment, but these are kind of the main ones, we're looking to get at least the money out of this year's budget for.
Yeah.
These items.
Yeah. So the tasers, are we done, or is that, do we need to do anything with that, or is that already,
We already did that.
you already?
Steve, what
approved?
purchases will not be done by year end?
We've got like for the tasers, I've got, I signed an agreement with them, we've got the purchase order for that. I can give you for that. I mean, actually, I think for the cameras too, I actually have like an invoice, whatever, so I don't know if that, you have to encumber that money.
If you have an invoice and are ready to purchase it, we can take care of it tomorrow.
Okay,
But if you have a vendor that isn't ready, like your car, for example, those take months to do, but you know you're gonna purchase it, we would encumber the funds via some paperwork so that you can make that purchase in January if needed. So the question is, what can we pay before the end of the year? What are you ready to purchase?
I think I think the radar units, the taser and the in-car cameras, I think we can do that, I've got purchase order, the invoice for all three of those.
Okay,
I'll just get with you all that, if you don't need to do anything here, I just wasn't sure what product.
So do you- okay.
no, not at all.
Because the amount on the video cameras, do we need approval on that?
Council should just approve the purchases.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
That's what I
I-
thought.
I'm just trying to break this down. So we've already approved the purchase of the tasers. We did that earlier. So next would be the approval of the in-car video systems,
Mhm.
which is 33,690. So that would be one motion. The next would be
Right.
the radar units, because the vehicle's already taken care of. So the radar units would be. Where did I see that?
6,390.
Yeah. Okay, so just those two.
No, six.
Just looking. Where was
You
the,
approved change last meeting.
what was the price on the 3 radar units?
And it's-
Uh,
what was
6,380.
Oh, there wasn't another one after that, other than the one we already approved. Okay.
You know, is that in your email as well?
What was-
Third paragraph.
Okay, there we go, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. So. 2 motions, right?
You could do them both at the same time if you wanted. You have all the details, whatever's easier.
Yeah, why don't we, just for safety's sake, let's just do one at a time. So is there a motion to approve the 3 in-car video systems in the amount of $33,690?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Greg, second by Kathy, open for discussion. No further discussion, take a vote. Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes. Next would be
radar.
the 3 radar, in-car radar units in the amount of $6,390. And I will make a motion that we approve that.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Jeff, second by Kathy, open for discussion. No further discussion, take a vote. Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach, yes. Motion carries. Okay. Was there anything else we needed to do on that?
I think I'm good, I appreciate.
Okay,
You address the ammunition. Versus the ammunition.
If we can pay by check, we can take care of that before year end. He's gonna talk with the new vendor.
it's already in the budget.
Or in budget.
Yes.
Yeah, it's already,
Yes.
yeah, it's already in the line item budget. Okay, anybody have anything for Steve?
Mhm.
If not, thank you for the report. Thank you for all you do. And you 2 gentlemen as well, thank you. You guys stay safe out there. All right, Nick. Good evening.
Make this short and sweet.
Okay.
yay.
You got, what the heck? You gotta be good. Hey, 75 emergency calls in November, 274 responses, for us a little, down a little bit in November, which we'll take that. We'll double down already for December, I don't know why, but it's just the way the world works, I guess. Still short a couple people, which we're working on. The tower passed its pump test on December 16th, so we're excited about that, but it's getting its teeth.
Cool, got all the parts you need.
It's
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
teeth.
That's not even the new part, so we still got 3
Ooh.
minutes.
Oh.
Just about skin of his teeth. Really.
Yes.
We have a great time with the Christmas tree lighting. Thank you for allowing us to be part of that great event that you guys put on. It's a good time. You know, if you've never been to it, it is pretty fun. We delivered toys on Saturday, December 7th. We tied this year with Oslo, so we've come to the agreement that we're gonna keep a trophy for 6 months and then give it to them for 6 months. So, worked out well. They've had a lot of toys delivered that day.
Good.
It was good. Our picture fundraiser is winding down. If you would still like to donate and get a picture, the last picture date, January 18th, 2025. Definitely appreciate everyone's support during this tire people picture fundraisers, the extra fundraisers we've done to get lights for the tree and things like that. And all throughout the year, we do appreciate that. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Look forward to working with everybody again next year. And on that note, I did give Kathy the 2025 contract. For you guys to take a look at and include and sign if you could, or so we can move into the 2025 year.
Okay,
Other than that, that is
Just got that letter this week.
thank you, Nick.
probably.
Anybody have any questions for Nick? If not, thank you to you and your staff, and pray that you guys stay safe and hopefully you stay at the firehouse and don't go anywhere.
We like it that way.
I do too.
It's these days.
I like not hearing those sirens.
I know. Usually one shift, somebody's shift that you don't hear very many sirens on.
Yes.
Take it.
Okay,
Next shift,
Can we piggyback off of
Park
that?
board report.
Jeff, can we piggyback off of that? Because we have their agreement for services
Oh,
that
yeah.
we just got.
Okay.
So this agreement, their annual service fee is in the amount of $920,114. And Mike has that earmarked, was it South Pit,
South and east tip.
to be paid out of.
Okay,
So we are looking for a motion to approve that agreement for services.
okay. Make a motion that we approve the fire department contract for 2025 in the amount of $920,114.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Jeff, second by Kathy. Open for discussion. Out of curiosity, Nick, can you share what was the Washington Township portion?
I would have to look. I don't know right off.
It's over $1 million, though, isn't it?
What their total portion?
Yeah.
The whole budget,
No, just their total portion.
that is not over.
Not over, $1 million. Okay,
No,
okay.
and I'd still like to know the number of calls in city versus the number of calls outside
Can you
in the
address that,
last
Craig?
year.
Oh, that was
That'd be
The true
interesting.
prior year.
a year and a half ago already, outdated.
Yeah, just throw me an email or something.
Well,
That'd be nice.
there's no way of figuring it out without going through the call logs
Yeah,
Well,
and typing in.
Pretty good idea.
he can give me a ballpark.
It's a lot of hours.
Here's a lot.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just kind of curious proportionate wise.
okay. Any further discussion?
Motions to approve, the contract and the amount, happy to take a look at it, make sure. Put the stamp of approval on, just.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve pending legal review.
Yeah, that's the one I seconded.
It's like he needs to make up some hours or something. Is that what
Yeah.
you're picking up on tonight?
That's right. Hey, it's,
You see the contract, he said, there's my contract. He
Oh,
wants
I
to
can
look at it.
scratch it already. Must have just shaved the day.
Okay,
Signed or not signed?
let me glance at it first. I don't think it's a heavy lift. I think if council approves the allocation, approves the agreement, subject to
I think
sign off.
it's usually the same every year.
This is
Yeah.
like Glenn all over.
Okay, Glenn.
oh. Oh.
That was a low blow. Oh, Steve, Glenn was our attorney. He'd,
Bill, I can't, Nick, I can't believe you did this.
he'd explain the same thing to us every meeting that he had explained for 20 years.
If you need to wait till next meeting.
Alex, let me take a copy of it before you leave.
Okay, any further discussion? And now we'll take a vote. Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Greg Dolsky, yes, and Jeff Beechey, yes.
motion
Carries.
carries.
I think we can stop by and sign in if the party group attendance.
Okay, Park Board report. Who's got that?
Well, you weren't at that meeting, were you?
Well, it's in your packet. I'd recommend you
That was,
review it.
no, that was November meeting minutes.
Well,
That was in the packet.
then they should get me updated minutes.
That's correct.
So the most important thing for you guys to do tonight is to appoint
Yeah.
Michael Robb.
He has agreed, if appointed, that he would serve a second year term, which is 4 years. Michael Ropp runs the community garden. He is engaged member of the park board.
Oh.
And would go for another 4 years.
I make a motion to appoint Michael Robb to the park board for 4 years.
Second.
Okay, motion by Greg, second by Kathy, open for discussion. No further discussion, take a vote. Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beechey, yes. Motion carries.
now we're down to him.
Okay. Alex, welcome back.
Evenings, council.
What do you have for him?
Yo,
Um, I have for you this evening, what is on second reading. For ordinance number 2024 which is an ordinance of the town council of the town of Bristol, Indiana, authorizing off-road vehicles on highways under the jurisdiction of the town of Bristol, Indiana, and imposing requirements, conditions, and restrictions for such. Procedurally, like I said, this is on second reading before the council's second reading and adoption this evening. I believe this is postured for, the agenda indicates, for public hearing. I think it's appropriate to do so to the extent that members of the public would like to comment.
Sure.
This has been, my understanding, this has been introduced to the council. I think this makes some necessary amendments to the ordinance as it exists to identify responsibilities and obligations of those operating off-road vehicles on highways within the jurisdiction of the town. I think perhaps most importantly are two notes to take away. One, that the ordinance does not require the town to issue licenses or stamps or otherwise approve of individual, license off-road vehicles for use within the town. And two, that it allows for, provided that the movement is at 90-degree angles, crossing state highways in order to use off-road vehicles within the town without violating, Indiana statute. So I think that may have been a question at one point in time that a member of the public had posed is, well, how do we get across?
Yeah.
We go from north to south,
Or east to west.
or east to west without having state police stop by and pick you up. And so the idea is as long as you're not traveling along those highways, you'll be just fine. But reversing them, this ordinance says is appropriate. I think it's supported by state law. So that's the long and short of it.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions the council may have. Otherwise, my recommendation would be to open for any public comment. And at the conclusion of the public comment period, to adopt the ordinance as presented.
Okay. So at this time, we'll open up a public hearing to hear ordinance number 2024-27. So is there anybody in the room that would like to make public comment with regard to this ordinance? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. And at this time, I will call for a motion to approve said ordinance.
I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 12-19-2024-27. Off-road vehicle ordinance.
Second.
Is that, just to clarify, on second reading?
On second reading.
On second reading. Okay. So a motion by Greg, second by Kathy, open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Kathy Burke,
Yes.
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes, motion carries. Okay. Anything else?
Other than my thank you for a wonderful year and for the opportunity to return to you after a couple of weeks at home with little one.
Okay. And congratulations on the little one. Right again, Lewis
Christopher, 11 weeks old on Saturday.
Good.
He's
Is
big.
dog getting used to him yet?
Yeah, they're kind of ships in the night. You kind of just
Yeah.
move past each other. And
Yeah.
dogs a little concerned, so they get quite the attention she used to.
Oh, I'll bet.
That's no, that's all about.
You get the elbow in the ribs in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's unfortunately he's sleeping very well.
Oh,
But
that's pretty good.
still always a shock to. I used to wake up 2:30 in the morning to do anything. It's a bold change.
Like my daughter always told me when she was pregnant, she was really tired. I said, you don't know what tired is.
All right, thank you, Alex. That brings us to number 13, privilege of the floor, otherwise known as public comment. Is there anybody in the room this evening that would like to make public comment?
Maxine.
Oh, come on, Maxine.
Lester Auto, 18686 County Route 23. the last, and I don't know what has changed, but in the last 2.5, 3 weeks at my house, Belmont is shaking like crazy. I don't know if they've changed the manufacturing process or not, but I'm getting an awful lot of vibration. Uh, I haven't noticed any cracking in the side, in the sheetrock yet, but I'm getting all kinds of vibration that hasn't, 3 weeks ago wasn't happening,
Okay,
but it is far worse than what it was.
okay,
And so I don't know if somebody needs to investigate whether they're taking some shortcuts that they shouldn't be. But it's extremely annoying.
okay.
And I'm just reporting.
Right.
And so, thank you.
Thank you, Lester. We will definitely look into that for you. Like if you could.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else, Maxine?
No, I'm okay. Thank you, Maxine.
Okay.
You told me yesterday she'd see me here.
Nothing, no. So next item on the agenda, town council discussion item. So Doug's not here, Dean's not here.
Nothing,
Kathy, anything?
nothing.
Greg?
Nothing.
Um,
Oh, I did want to thank Wendell.
Is that the light he's working on this afternoon?
No,
Okay.
when we mentioned the fact that the street light on the corner was out,
Mhm.
he changed the bulb, I think, once or twice in the opposite one, than the one that was not working. But it's working now. It's great.
Well, I know they spent significant time. I don't think these streetlights work yet, do they? Oh, they are on. They must have gotten fixed.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, he went out within the next day. I talked to him about,
Well, I mean, at least the reason.
it was the west side of the street, not the east side, because he says I fixed it.
Right, okay. There's a lot of hours put into streetlights and Christmas wreaths this week.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you.
I would say the only thing I've got is just to thank everybody. It's been a busy year. It's been a really busy year. There's been a lot of change, a lot of challenges, a lot of good things happening. And I think it's, I count this as a very successful year for us. We've got some things cleaned up in town, which are nice to see. I think there's a bright future for what is to come with that property. We have a new police chief. And couldn't be happier, thank you. Excited about the full staff again.
Yep.
We went from potentially 2 officers to now we're at 11. So really excited about that. The fire department, you guys have been doing a good job and really appreciate everything you guys are doing. So thank you. Wastewater treatment plant, water upgrades, things are moving along nicely there, so it'd be nice to see some of that come to fruition.
Got a busy 2 years ahead of us, but
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
do.
fall of 2026. That'll
Yeah.
be a fun Christmas. Oh, I hope that we're all done by then. Anyway, there's a possibility some of that construction might fall into spring of 2027, but it should be down around the railroad tracks. Everything else should be done.
Yeah.
Sat down with Surveyor today talking about fiber optic along Main Street. I think we may put in the conduit and then lease space to like serve others. The fiber optic
Nice.
street lights and downtown residents. We're going to install at least conduit to every business and every home that's along Main Street, whether they want it or not. It's going to be there, so you never have to tear up the sidewalk to install the fiber.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it'll cost a little extra for us, but not much,
Good benefit. So, yeah, New liquor store, that's open now. New gas station, that's open. The gas station's nice.
The official opening will be December 27th. If that's a Friday, you'll get a notice on that.
Okay.
And
Which
I
gas
think the
station?
liquor store is doing an opening as well, but haven't heard.
Up north,
On 15.
yeah, up by the
Yeah,
industrial park.
that is really nice.
It is, it's a really nice gas station.
The liquor store was open.
Yeah, I saw that.
They opened last Saturday.
Yeah.
I stopped and talked to them today, and they said things are going well, so.
That's good.
They have a taco truck sitting in there.
I think it was for their opening on Saturday, like they were having the people that got front.
Did they have like a grand opening or something?
I
Did it
think,
tell us?
well, Saturday was their opening and
Hmm.
I don't know, but looks nice in there.
Yeah. Good.
And last but not least, we got a new attorney in the family, a little attorney. Well, I should say attorney / surgeon.
Yeah,
What's he gonna be? Do we know yet?
not yet.
Not yet, okay.
He's gonna be the regeneration of hippies.
I don't know, I gotta, he looks a little yuppie, I'll show you. I've already started. Yeah, you remember the first one.
Yeah, definitely.
First hour, looked good, had a bow tie.
Thank you, everybody, for everything that you've done for the town this year. It's been a lot of work, but very rewarding to see a lot of good progress and the foundation for even greater progress moving forward.
And thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Maxim.
A lot of work and effort goes in, I know.
Thank you, Maxine. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
so I for one appreciate it.
Thank you.
But happy holidays to everybody here.
Yeah.
And stay safe, please.
Yeah, agreed. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Next meeting in the new year, January 2nd, January 14th, and January 16th.
Hit the ground running.
Yep,
Yes. January 2nd is the first Thursday.
First
yep,
Thursday.
it is. Okay, with that, that is our motion.
I made that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'll second Greg's.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
All right.